Welcome to the Digital Maddie Show with your host and host, Digital Mithil, your digital empire architect who is on a mission to help entrepreneurs build their digital empire with my self-made entrepreneur program. This show is all about unlocking the world of entrepreneurship, personal branding, content creation, and digital marketing. I also bring entrepreneurs and experts on the show and extract their secrets of success, which gives you a perfect roadmap for building your digital empire. We have an amazing guest from New Jersey, United States. He is already into the studio. Let's welcome him.
You are listening to the Digital Maddie Show with Digital Mithil.
So, as rightly said, we have in our studio Julio Brunes. So, let me introduce him. Julio has dedicated much of his professional life to helping and training others. His experience as a home care recruiter, a director of a business development for a national home care company, a corporate trainer, and franchisee business consultant, and a training developer has afforded him the opportunity to create and implement many proven programs for business growth. Julio believes that the key to a successful home care business is having the right tools. He is recognized expert in his field and he has a mantra: prepare, plan, and rebuild. So welcome Julio to the show.
Hi, thank you. I'm so glad to be on today.
Awesome. So Julio, can you share more about yourself to all the people who are listening to this episode?
Well, my journey in the home care industry actually began way back when I was 15. All right, I'm 44, going to be 45 years old. So I've been in this industry off and on for almost 30 years. Okay, I'm going to say total combined probably about 20 years. Okay, so it all started for me when my mother who was managing a home care agency decided that being out unsupervised was not a good idea. So she talked to the owner of the agency and they gave me a part-time job as a recruiter for caregivers. And it all went forward from there.
Wow, super cool. So Julio, can you tell me what exactly is your role as a home care business consultant?
Well, what I do is I come in, I use my years of experience, as a recruiter, as a director of business development and sales, managing various offices. And, I went from that into developing systems for franchises. So I take all of this to help agency owners and other senior care business owners to improve certain processes within their company to grow their profits. Like for example, something that most people don't understand is that you can't just go out and start knocking on doors and saying, "Hi, I'm here. Buy from me." There's a process. It's like the company mantra, like you said. You have to prepare, you have to plan, and sometimes you got to call people like me in to help you rebuild your business.
Absolutely. So Julio, can you tell me how social proofs and online reviews improve the caregiver recruitment process?
Well, see, recruitment, I think begins, ends, and grows with retention. So if you don't have a way to retain your caregivers, to make people want to keep working for you, then you're constantly going to struggle with finding caregivers. You're going to struggle with growing your business, with being able to service your clients. So there's a concept called social proof, meaning what do other people think about what you're doing? It's not you bragging about yourself, it's other people bragging about you. So one of the big topics, or one of the big points when it comes to a solid retention plan, is being able to create what I call cheerleaders. Okay, people who will go out there and make massive amount of noise saying how amazing it is to work for you. And that's using social media, like using platforms like Facebook or LinkedIn, or even the job boards like Indeed or ZipRecruiter, and make sure that your caregivers are out there talking about how amazing it is to work for you, so that other people can see that. And this way, rather than having to offer a sign-on bonus, you will have people beating down your door to come work for you.
Wow. Absolutely. I totally agree with you, Julio, because even the social media screenshots and people giving reviews and your true fans. So basically, that's actually the social currency required for any kind of foundation of a business.
Yes, agreed. And it used to be word of mouth back in the day, before social media, and today we just use different tools.
Absolutely. So Julio, with COVID hitting and things going a little towards the south, what do you think would the effects of rising wages on the home care industry will affect?
Well, worldwide, I think it's just becoming an issue. I don't think it's just a United States problem, because I have clients in Canada, in England, and even during COVID, I had a couple of clients out in Australia. It's becoming a problem everywhere. See, many governments are subsidizing so that people can stay home, okay? And this has created an extreme level of comfort for people. So why am I going to leave my comfortable position where I can sit home and have a wage to go out and work for someone else? So what do you have to do? You're not just competing now with other agencies in your area, you're also competing with your own government, okay? So this is creating this massive vacuum where, as we see, many countries are currently facing just natural inflation. But beyond the inflation, we're seeing an unnatural rise in competitive wages. But the other end, our senior population and those within our communities that are serviced by home care, pregnant women, adults with developmental disabilities, our seniors, their income is not growing with the demand of the rising wages. And this is all creating a very complicated situation worldwide. I don't see an easy solution other than, like, in the model that I teach private pay model, not any government payer source or insurance. You can adjust by increasing your prices, but you have to be careful not to increase your price to the point where you just don't have any clients, no one can afford you. And that's where I see that this is becoming a problem moving forward.
Wow, the process will be exciting, and the people who must be going through that, they would be getting a clear roadmap of how to take it further.
Yes.
Wow. So now, Julio, how to avoid a costly but a common caregiver issue? How can you do that?
Well, one, in the United States and in Canada and in England, there's a concept of live-in caregivers, okay? And there's different laws depending on where you are that, put in place protections for the employees. Now, one of the most common mistakes people make, and it has to do with how they're classifying their employees for legal and labor purposes. I'll give you an example here in the United States, okay? The live-in caregiver used to be an exemption, okay? So that you can just give somebody a daily rate. All right, now that meant that if I was able to charge the client, for example, about $150, $160 per day, and give the caregiver about $90 to $120 per day, depending on the difficulty of the case, and everything works great. It didn't matter how many hours the caregiver worked. It just mattered that the caregiver was being paid fairly. Well, in 2015, all of that changed in here in the US, to where now that exemption was removed by, at the time, President Obama. And by removing that exemption, all caregivers had to be paid hourly. Now, where does this classification and this very, very costly mistake come in? The labor laws are designed to protect the employee, not the employer. So if you have a position that is required constant supervision. You cannot pay an employee as an independent contractor. And this works the same. I'm not sure how it works in India. I haven't actually researched this, but I do know that most countries that follow this similar set of laws, as the U.S., Canada, England, and Australia, and the UK in general, in those countries, when a caregiver requires supervision, they cannot be classified as an independent contractor. And here in the U.S., as of late, like within the last year or so, they've really been cracking down on this. And there's an article actually on my blog where I specifically talk about this subject, because an agency in Pittsburgh was fined over $1 million over misclassifying caregivers. I think the end number between fines and back pay and everything else came out to $1,250,000. That is a significant amount of money for any business to lose. I don't care how much you're making. That's enough to, if it doesn't bankrupt you, it'll bring you very close to it.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And again, it's just something agency owners use to try to cut some corners, because if you're an independent contractor, I don't have to pay taxes for you. So I end up saving as much as 20% off of my payroll expense.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So now, Julio, if you see, this is the end of the first phase of the interview. Now we come to the second phase, which is a little fun element. It's a rapid fire round. So I'm going to ask you 5 questions. The answer which comes in your mind for the very first time, you won't get time to think. It's going to be random and rapid. So let's begin with our 5 questions.
Okay.
All right. So the first question is, which is your favorite movie quote?
Oh, I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Who do you admire the most?
My deceased father.
Okay. Who is your favorite cartoon character and why?
Oh, wow. Okay. That one's tough. All right. My favorite cartoon character is, I'm going to have to say Bugs Bunny, because because no matter how serious things get, he keeps his cool and he's always able to outthink everybody.
And always ask, what's up, Doc?
Yes.
Awesome. 4th question. What is your favorite summer activity?
Spending time with my children. It doesn't matter what it is, where we are. As long as I get to spend time with them outside, we're fine.
Awesome. And the last question, a very serious one. Who is your favorite superhero and why?
Oh, Batman.
Batman. Okay.
Yes, Batman. Absolutely. Batman, hands down. In the comic books, he is the greatest tactician. And there's, brute force is great. But if you can't outthink your opponent, you're lost no matter what.
Awesome. And its superpower is he's rich.
Well, yeah. Well, I think his superpower would arguably be his ability to think.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, Julio, all the people who are listening to this episode, if they want to connect with you and know more about you, how can they do that?
Well, the best way to do it is either to connect with me on Facebook at, the Briones Group, or just visit my website. I have a number of options on there, where including a free 30-minute strategy session where no obligation, I'll actually answer a question for you and, regarding your business. And that you can find me at thebrionesgroup.com. That's TheBrionesGroup.com.
So all the people who are listening to this episode, you can find all the links in the description below. Do check it out. Now, Julio, before we end this particular episode, would you like to say something to our viewers?
Yeah, when you're growing your business, it doesn't matter if you've just opened your doors and you're trying to figure out what to do, or if you've been in business for 15 years and you're getting ready to move on to to the point where you're going to sell or transfer it or just close it down because you're tired of it. Whatever it is, whatever stage you're in your business, you got to remember to do periodic checks on your business. Just take a look. What's your business worth? What systems do you have in place? One of the big things that I run into with clients that come to me, that they've been around, especially the ones that have been around for a couple of years, they don't realize that that their business becomes worthless if it is so dependent on them. So just give yourself a quick checkup, like just take a look. How dependent is the business on me? And what's my business really worth? Because from there, you can actually scale out and plan anything you do. And one final tip, especially for the new business owners, always, always, always plan to open your business as if you were selling it tomorrow. All right. If you're not planning to sell your business tomorrow, then you will always follow that same model you have today as a new business owner, and you will forever struggle.
Wow, it's like mic drop. Awesome. So thank you so much, Julio, for taking out your time and answering some amazing questions, and also for a fun Batman session with us. Super cool.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I really, really appreciate this opportunity. And I'm guessing good evening over in your time. Good morning for us. Getting ready to start the day here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you have just listened to the Digital Maddie Show with your host, Digital Mithil. Thank you so much for listening to our show and giving so much love. Don't forget to subscribe to our Apple Podcast or Spotify. So this is Digital Mithil signing off at the moment. Until next time, meet you soon with another guest and their exciting story. But until then, keep rocking and stay safe.